Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the iSolder-40. It's a smart soldering station created by Jovy Systems. First, I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about the company. Jovy Systems was founded in 2006, and it specializes in creating high-quality soldering stations and rework stations at an affordable cost. Their products are all made eco-friendly or with the environment in mind, and they are all CE approved. The stations they create are used worldwide by everything from hobbyists to military, and they are available internationally. Now let's get into the real reason why you are here, to see a review on the iSolder-40. The iSolder-40 is Jovy's latest invention for lead-free soldering and has a number of very nice features. I have owned about 3 or 4 soldering irons in the past few years, and none of them come close to the iSolder-40. The iSolder-40 displays red and green LEDs on the front to let you know the mode the station is in. When you power on the iSolder-40, the station will blink for about 5 seconds, blink green for about 5 seconds, and then display a solid green. This means that the iron has reached its optimal temperature and is ready to be used. Now, I've used quite a few soldering stations as stated, and these stations would take between 1 minute to a few minutes to heat up, and even after waiting that time, I wasn't sure if the iron had reached its optimal temperature and whether it was ready to desolder. So that in itself is a very nice feature. I love the fact that it can heat up so quickly. The 5-second heating up time it's incredible. I love that because I know that before, when I was working on a project, I know it's only a minute or two or a few minutes, but still when I want to solder, I want to have the iron ready right there and then. So it's a really cool thing. 5 seconds, it's killer. To prevent accidents, prolong life of the different tips for the iSolder-40, and also to save power when not being used, the iSolder-40 will put itself into a sleep mode after a prolonged period of no usage. When the iSolder-40 senses that you have not used it for 5 minutes, it will put itself into a sleep mode similar to that of a desktop computer, where the iron will blink, or the actual station will blink a short red in the LED indicator, which is on the front of the actual station. This will save the electricity being used at the time, so it's kind of slowly not putting out as much power. And to wake it up from the sleep mode, just like on a computer almost, where you wiggle a mouse, for the iSolder-40 you're just going to have to remove the actual iron from the iron holder, or you can just kind of wiggle it as well and it'll wake up the station. Now if the iron or the station senses it hasn't been used for a 10-minute period of time, it will enter into what is a power saving mode, where the tip will actually cool down to room temperature. Like in the sleep mode, all you have to do to awaken it is to either remove the iron or to move it a little bit, and it'll sense that it's being used. However, though, in my opinion, even though the first 2 features I've listed are really cool, the heating up quickly as well as the power saving mode, which prolongs the soldering iron tips lifespan, is the variable temperature. And what this is, among everything else, to me, this is what puts this station above any other station I've ever seen. I've done a lot of research on soldering stations because I do quite a fair amount of soldering when I'm installing chips into Xbox 360s, repairing Xboxes, repairing drives, just anything I'm doing. I do a lot of soldering work on motherboards. Is that the iSolder-40 is equipped with an actual, it's called the iControl processor, which is the CPU of the station. The station also uses specialized tips created by Jovy that contain sensors in the tip. Now, when the sensor in the tip touches a joint that you're going to be soldering, it instantly sends the information of the temperature to the central processor, and which in turn instantly reads the information, and we will supply more temperature if it is needed to melt the joint, or keep the temperature if it is in the correct range. So if you're soldering something and you're putting the tip against the actual component, if it needs more heat to actually melt that joint, or to melt whatever the soldering that you're going to be using, it will instantly supply more power. But if the amount is sufficient, it won't. It'll just keep it at that steady temperature and allow you to solder. And what that does is it protects whatever you're soldering on. I know that especially when you're beginning soldering, it's really easy to damage small components, small motherboards or PCBs or anything like that. And when you're working with components, it's really important that you don't have too much power or too little power. So having the correct temperature is really an awesome thing to have. And the cool thing is, instead of having to have different temperature, different wattage irons, like I typically used a 40-watt iron, this iron can range. I'm not sure the exact range of the wattage, but I believe it's between somewhere in the 15 to 55 range of watts. Not like, again, I'm not 100% on that, but again, it does have a different range. And so what that ensures is that it helps. It's like a protection from damaging the component, as well as having the correct temperature means that the solder will melt accordingly and you'll get the best bondage possible that you can. The tips for the iSolder-40 come in a variety of sizes, which is nice for a wide range of products. Since, like I said, you have to have a special tip, you have to get them from Jovy or from a Jovy authorized reseller, but they do come in a different types of tips for different projects, whether it's desoldering or large components or smaller components. So that is really nice. And in my opinion, whether you are just starting out as a hobbyist, messing around with, like I am, like, or not, I'm not really a hobbyist anymore, but I mean, when I was just messing around with little mods at the house or LED type things, anything like that, or whether you've been a professional and you've been soldering for many years, I think the iSolder-40 really has something to offer anybody. I'm very happy with my iSolder-40, and I feel like it has made many projects much easier for me that it would have been a lot more time consuming or frustrating, or just a lot more things to take into consideration, and it's just a lot simpler and faster with the iSolder-40. I've used it over the past 4 weeks here to solder various components, to test it out, as well as work on a couple projects, as well as desolder a few different components. So if you're interested in purchasing your own iSolder-40, I'll put a link in the description to go over to Jovy's official reseller list. They're available, like I said, worldwide, so North America, South America, Europe, all different parts. You can find a reseller near you, and I promise that if you do pick up the iron, you will not be disappointed. And now, if you have any other questions or concerns about the station, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll try my best to get back to you as quick as possible. And you also, I mean, if you wanted to, they have customer service available through them. So if it's a specific question that I can't answer, or you need it, sooner, then go ahead and send them over through their contact page on their website. I know that I've been dealing with their customer service a little bit over the past few weeks here, and they're a great bunch. They're happy to answer any questions you have or any type of troubleshooting you might need. So alright guys, well, I hope you like this review. I really love this station. I can't tell you guys enough about how much I love this station, and I'm sure you'll see me talk about it or use it more down the line here, as I have quite a few little projects I got planned out for you guys. So anyways, Dopes930 guys, hope you enjoyed this review of the iSolder-40. I tried to be as detailed as possible. Thanks for watching.